The U.S. Air Force is bringing the island airfield that launched the atomic bombings of Japan back into service as it seeks bases where its Pacific forces can disperse in wartime. General Kenneth Wilsbach, commander of the Pacific Air Forces, told Nikkei Asia for a December 13th report that North Airfield on the island of Tinian is being reclaimed from the jungle that's overgrown it since World War II. In 1945, the airfield included 4 8,500-foot runways that launched B-29 Superfortress bombers against Japan. Visitors to Tinian can still witness pits where atom bombs, Fat Man and Little Boy, meant for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, were loaded onto B-29s. Tinian has been part of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, which is a U.S. territory in the Pacific and has a population of 3,000 people. It's about 118 miles or 190 kilometers from Guam. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the U.S. plans to counter China with the revival of the World War II base. Let's get into the details. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Wilsbach said the North Airfield has extensive pavement underneath the overgrown jungle. We'll be clearing that jungle out between now and summertime. He told Nikkei without providing a timeline for when the airfield will be in use. If you pay attention in the next few months, you'll see significant progress. The recently passed National Defense Authorization Act, which will fund the military in 2024, includes tens of millions of dollars for projects on Tinian. Funding for the island includes $26 million for airfield development, $20 million for fuel tanks, $32 million for parking aprons, $46 million for a cargo pad and taxiway extension, and $4.7 million for a maintenance and support facility. The Tinian projects are part of efforts to restore World War II-era airfields throughout the Western Pacific. When it comes to the Indo-Pacific, China's a challenge. It wants to impose its will through military means if required. China, which was not part of the INF Treaty, has exploited this treaty to build a potent rocket force. According to the Pentagon's latest annual report, the Chinese military is estimated to have 1,500 missiles with a range of 1,000 kilometers to 5,500 kilometers, or 620 miles to 3,420 miles. This includes the likes of DF-21 and DF-26. The Dongfeng 21 is a 2-stage, solid-fueled, single-warhead, medium-range ballistic missile, MRBM, that has a speed of around Mach 10, a maximum range of around 1,700 kilometers or 1,055 miles, and carries a 600 kilogram or about a 1,350 pounds warhead. DF-26 has a range of 4,000 kilometers or 2,500 miles and is thought to be designed to conduct precision nuclear or conventional strikes with an accuracy of 100 meters CEP. Apart from these, it has DF-ZF. DF-ZF hypersonic glide vehicle is launched to extremely high altitudes using DF-17, where it skips across the Earth's upper atmosphere and then glides back, attaining a hypersonic speed that's more than Mach 5. So technically, Chinese missile forces could reach American bases in the region. To meet this threat, the U.S. has devised Agile Combat Employment Strategy. It refers to the Air Force's capacity to swiftly relocate aircraft to a network of smaller airfields, to evade potential targeting with missiles during wartime. Hence, the U.S. Air Force is seeking more bases to disperse aircraft in wartime. The U.S. has taken some concrete steps to have more bases. Recently, the Philippines and the United States agreed to expand the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. On February 2nd, the longtime allies announced that rotating batches of American forces will be granted access to 4 more Philippine military camps. Last month, the U.S. and Philippines marked the completion of a $24 million runway upgrade at Basa Air Base on the Philippines' main island of Luzon. Basa, just south of the larger Clark Air Base, is the home of the Philippine Air Force's 5th Fighter Wing and was built by U.S. forces at the start of World War II. The U.S. has also made a key agreement with India. In 2018, these countries signed an important agreement. The Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, LAMOA, allows them to use each other's land, air, and naval bases for repair and resupply. The U.S. leadership is aware of the genuine threat. The U.S. views China, ruled by the Chinese Communist Party, as the biggest challenge to the rules-based international order, pointing to Beijing's rapid military buildup, the biggest in peacetime history, as well as its claims over the self-governed island of Taiwan and in the East and South China Seas. Guam, a key American base in the region, is in the Chinese crosshairs. Admiral Phil Davidson had earlier told the Senate Armed Services Committee that the island needs protection as the home of 170,000 U.S. citizens and service members, a deep-water strategic port, fuel and munition stores, and an airfield used to project U.S. power. Davidson said, "Guam is a target today. It needs to be defended, and it needs to be prepared for the threats that will come in the future." He added, China's own Air Force has put out a propaganda video showing their H-6 bomber force attacking Andersen Air Force Base at Guam and distributed that quite publicly. Investing in Tinian introduces complexities to the strategic planning of China or any other nation contemplating military challenges to a free and open Indo-Pacific. Tinian could be key to responding to any conflict in the Asia-Pacific region.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.